What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So if you guys can't tell, today is a beautiful day. So we're gonna take advantage of it and get some stuff done on the G80 M3. So we have a few things to do. Both of these mods will actually improve the car, functionally at least. If you guys didn't know, I have some aftermarket, much more aggressive Apex wheels. Now, whenever you have more aggressive wheels, it tends to just kind of emphasize how much it just kicks stuff up on the side of your car, whether you have aftermarket wheels, whether you have wheel spacers. Because it's been snowing so much and there's so much salt on the road, look how bad that is. And not only is the wheel well getting covered, but look at all this. You guys can see all the salt and all the grime and debris that the wheel just kicks up onto the side of the car. That is of course on the front, and then the rear is no different. Although my carbon kind of catches it for better or for worse. But now to solve that, we're gonna be installing some mud flaps. These are TLG mud flaps sold by Keys Motorsports. So if you guys do want them, there'll be some links down in the description below. They also make them for a whole bunch of cars, not just the G80 M3s. I actually have some on my Supra, which I don't really have with me, so I can't show you guys. I just have these on my F30. They fit like a 4 Series, a G20. There's a whole bunch of cars that you can get these for. And the nice thing about these mud flaps, guys, they are super sleek and kind of low key, because on a BMW, well, it's not a Subaru STI or something. You don't want those like crazy looking mud flaps. As a matter of fact, you probably don't want any mud flaps at all, but you want the functionality of one. So these mud flaps will help with the issues that I told you guys about before, but at the same time, they're gonna be super sleek and subtle, so you'll hardly even notice them on the car. You will see them, they're not invisible, but they'll be hardly noticeable. So we're gonna install those, and then not only that, guys, we're gonna be doing something else on the car, and that also has to do with your wheels and the fitment of your wheels. Because if you have more aggressive wheels, which again I do, or even if you have wheel spacers, you're gonna be rubbing on your inner wheel well. Now, some companies sell an entire wheel well replacement, but those things are like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So we have a solution for that as well, which we're all gonna do in today's video. So if you guys wanna see that, stay tuned to the end. Let's just first knock out these mud flaps. Now, unfortunately, for me to install these mud flaps, I can't have all this salt here. Like that is like caked on. Oh my God, sheesh. You guys seeing this? Look at that. Oh my goodness. That is insane. Yep. And people ask me why I don't drive the G80 in the winter. Well, fortunately, guys, in New York, this is the reality. Alright, just a few moments later, guys, it is now warm enough to be outside in a t-shirt, which is absolutely insane. I'm sure it's because of the sun, the warmth of the sun, whatever. Either way, we got the wheel off on the M3. I gotta say, guys, honestly, I miss working on the cars. This is just reminding me of what I'm missing out on. This is my favorite part of cars. Haven't been doing it as much because of the cold, but hey, today's beautiful out, so we're gonna take advantage. Anyways, as you guys saw, I did power wash this thing clean. Now, if you guys are gonna do just the mud flaps, don't worry, you don't have to take off the wheel. You can just turn it and then access everything over here. For the other thing that we're gonna be doing, which I can't even remember if I said already, but we're gonna be basically replacing out this piece of the fender liner. Let's see if we can get you guys to see that. So that portion where it's all like fins and all that, this is where the car will rub. Anyways, we're gonna take off the entire fender liner, cut this out, and replace it with a much sleeker, much more compact piece. That's gonna be the harder job. The mud flaps is gonna be the easier one. So to install these mud flaps, it's super easy, guys. You're gonna have a few pins right over here, and then over here, you have to remove those ones. They basically look like this here. So they'll have a main portion, and then hopefully if this thing can focus. Come on, focus already. They'll have the main portion and then a pin. You basically have to take a pick tool, kind of poke the pin out, and then just remove the main portion. The pin is like the locking mechanism, if you want to think about it that way. I unfortunately don't have mine inside, probably because the guy who did the wrap decided to take them off, wrap over it, and then just you know, say YOLO. So great. So for me, I'm gonna simply take the new mud flap, line it up with the holes, take the new hardware, stick it in, and then yeah, we basically just have to hammer this little pin piece in, but otherwise we're good to go. Don't use your finger like I just did, that hurts a lot. But yeah, just hammer that in and then you're good. So you're gonna have one up there, one over here, and then this piece here to stop this from flapping around, they actually give you a black screw. You just have to kind of drill into your fender liner. It's not a big deal, guys, it's just gonna leave a little hole. So legit, like 2 minutes later, you guys can see the mud flap is fully installed. We have one pin here, one pin there, and then we have that screw, which we just screwed into the fender liner. And as you guys can see, this thing is super solid. Obviously, if I really wanted to use all my strength, I can rip it off, but why would you do that? But just driving, this thing is gonna be super solid. And again, it's gonna save us from all that dirt and debris getting on to the side of our car. So again, super easy and simple. Like legit, it should take you 5 minutes to install that. And remember guys, you don't have to take off your wheel to do this. I just did it so I can get to the fender liner, which we will do soon. But first I wanna knock out the rear mud flap and get all the mud flaps situated, at least for the purpose of the video. I'll do the other side off camera so I don't have to bore you guys with the same process. But the rear is just as easy as the front, if not easier. Now, to do the rear, you also don't have to take off the wheel. Now, if you want to, you can, but what you can do if you want to make your life a little easier, but not make it too much more difficult, is jack up the car. That way the wheel kind of drops down a little bit and you have a little more space to work with, or you can even do it with the car on the ground. Anyways, to do this one, you're gonna have a few pieces of hardware. I'm not sure how you guys are gonna be able to see this with this lighting, but you have one here, and then one there. I know you can't see it, but just trust me, they are there. They're either gonna be 10 mils or 8 mils. I have to double check mine. They feel like 10. But yeah, we're gonna undo those ones. And then if we look at the new mud flaps, you guys can see they actually only use 2 spots. So we're basically only gonna use those 2 locations, but we're not gonna reuse the factory hardware. What we're actually gonna do is use these longer screws that they provide us, because otherwise the factory hardware just isn't gonna reach. All right, so rear mud flap is now installed. Again, it's really just those 2 screws, but I'll be honest with you guys, I take back everything I said before about removing the wheel. Remove the wheel, just make your life easier. It's not even worth trying to like struggle with trying to fit in that area. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the mud flaps in a nutshell. I'm actually sweating a bit, guys. This is nice. Anyways, that's it for the mud flaps. If you guys want them, links down in the description below. Again, I think it's one of the best mods you can do to these cars. It's just gonna help protect your car. But right now, I'm gonna move on to what I think is gonna be the more time-consuming job here, and that is removing this fender liner, which is just held on by a whole bunch of screws and whatnot, and then cutting off this portion, and then replacing it with another piece. And after what felt like a million bolts and pieces of hardware, the fender liner should be able to come out now. So I think at this point, it's just gonna be a matter of me yanking this thing out, which I should do with 2 hands, but you know, I'm a YouTuber, right? So I have to film everything. There it goes. Oh, that was easy. Nice. All right, cool. Well, there it is. I'm gonna put this in the sun so we can see it a little better, and I can show you guys exactly what I was talking about before. So this piece right over here is obviously important. We don't want to close this off, and we do need the vents. I believe it's because there's an auxiliary radiator. I can't speak English, but yeah, that's right there. So we need those vents for cooling. By the way, my God, how did this get that loaded? Oh, sheesh. Oh my goodness. Today's video is multi-purpose, huh? Anyways, we need that opening for cooling. So BMW had to put it there, but they put those like large fins, which is fine on a stock setup. But again, with more aggressive wheels, when you turn the wheel, it will rub up on those fins. And yeah, we don't want that. So we're gonna replace them for a much sleeker piece. But before we can even do that, we do have to cut these off. So not sure how much you guys are gonna be able to see, but we have the fender liner right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my heat gun, which I have right here, and I'm gonna heat this up because, well, plastic is just easier to cut when it's nice and warm, a little more malleable, so it's easier to kind of, you know, cut through. I did see some people cut it first and then use a Dremel to kind of like flush it out. I'm just gonna use a Dremel from the get-go. I don't know if that's more efficient or if it's worse, but hey, we're gonna find out. By the way, you guys can actually see where I already broke mine, so that's what happens when you rub. Alright, so quick update, you guys can see I cut out the main portion of this. I will say though, definitely heat it up, it makes it a lot easier, but if you have some like big scissors or something just to cut it, it'd be a lot easier. As you can see, it does not look very pretty, so at this point, I'm gonna go back in with the Dremel and kind of shave this stuff down. I did a really bad job on this one. Oops. Oh well, it's all a learning process. Alright, a few more moments later, and I cleaned it up a little more. Does it look the best? Definitely not, but at least I think it'll be safe. There's no loose pieces hanging. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is definitely a project. It's not difficult by any means. It's all easy stuff if you have the right tools, but it is a process. Anyways, what we have to do now is attach the new piece, which is gonna go on something like that. It has 4 spots for some nuts and bolts, which if you buy this from AliExpress like I did, don't judge me, you will get that hardware, but unfortunately, we don't have holes in the fender liner. So what we're gonna have to do is line this thing up, hopefully just make it work, something like that. And then we're gonna have to drill in some holes. All right, and just a few more moments later, we are officially done. The new shield is installed. Does it fit the best? Absolutely not, but what are you gonna expect? This should at least do the job. We're gonna have that extra room. Because remember guys, the fins would have been out to like here, but now it goes all the way in, and we still have protection from any rocks, debris, or anything like that. I've been driving with the M3, rubbing on the fender liners pretty much ever since I bought it, because I put wheel spacers on right away and that was rubbing. Now these new wheels, they rub. Everything is rubbing, and not in the fun way. So this should hopefully resolve that. All we have to do now is just reinstall the fender liner onto, well, the fender. So some time has passed, the sun is going down, and it's cold again. So I'm wearing a hoodie. Lucky me. And I figured we put these new fender liners to the test because, well, I'll be honest with you guys, I've been living with this rubbing sound whenever I go full lock on the car. Pretty much again, ever since I bought it. So it's gonna be nice to finally have no rubbing. At some points, honestly, not even full lock, you'd hear it rubbing, or on some bumps. So far, I hear nothing, which is a really good sign. But we're gonna test this out and go full lock in a moment here. All right, moment of truth. Full lock on the wheel and nothing. All right, let's try it over here. Let's go on the other side. All right, full lock and nothing. Well, I think we're good. So again, a bit of an old school video for me, just working on the cars. It's kind of nice with the nice weather, although that changed pretty quickly. But at least we got some stuff done on the M3. It's a little more usable, a little more practical, especially since I'm not gonna have the Supra for a little bit. If you guys wanna know why I'm not gonna have the Supra, stay tuned. That will hopefully be, maybe not the next video, maybe the one after that. Really, as soon as I get it back, I'll finish up that video and you guys will know exactly what's going on. Only good things, by the way. So don't worry, it's only good things for the Supra. But now I can drive the M3 with a little more peace of mind. So yeah, super happy with it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.